Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Today, it's going to be a Patreon twofer for two people who subscribe to me at Falcon Paladin on Patreon for $10 a month. That gives them a right to send me one replay every single month, and I will cast it, no questions asked, and post it on the YouTube channel. Alright, so bottom right-hand corner of Dethara, it is the Red Zerg player CultofIll. I think that's what that is. On the top left, we've got ourselves a blue Protoss player, MackWinstone. All right, very good here. MackWinstone. Interesting name. Is that an actual first name, last name here? Not many people will put their first last name as their names in StarCraft 2. But I don't think there's any rules against it, I guess. Also, if your name is short enough to fit within the 12-character limit, that helps a lot too. Or is it 14? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, that's 12. 12! Because Falcon Paladin doesn't fit, but Falcon Pally totally does. Alright, CultofIll, what are you doing? This is not a name at all. This is CultofIll. Looks like about a 16, 18, 17 would be my guess. Based on the timings here, and both players seem to generally know what they're doing. What I kind of like about the Patreon cast is I have no idea what to expect. I don't know whether it's an Into the Void level replay or a Mid-Rank Madness level replay. Are you... What? He's trying to... Like, well, I got a pylon up here. I guess I might as well make a Oh my gosh, he forced a cancel. Holy smokes. CultofIll got baited hard. There was no forge back home. But he doesn't know that because he's Overlord scouting. It takes forever to get across this map. Dang. CultofIll is way behind all of a sudden. It's like, shut down that cannon rush. Joke's on you. There's not even a forge yet. Okay, now there's a forge. But still, you could have finished your hatchery? Oh my gosh, that's brutal. CultofIll, bad times, buddy. Good job, MackWinstone, though. The mind games were great. Although, I mean, you could have accomplished that without getting a forge, it turns out, but hindsight's 20/20. Defensive cannon is up, because I guess you're worried about potential roaches or lings, I guess? I don't know. I don't think you need this cannon, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, expanding before getting that forge would have been just fine. You would have been so far ahead. You would have had a Nexus up before CultofIll was like replanting his natural. That said, it's not over yet. CultofIll throws up a third base at about 2.5 minutes. So the timing's not terrible on that. If he can keep up economically, with his natural base being late and his third base being on time, I think he might be okay. And the thing about these lower level games, again, just by lower level I mean not professional, is that little stuff like this is not a huge deal. Like if you could have gotten somebody like Rogue, right, and you're playing against Stats, and Rogue cancels his natural because he's worried about cannons coming up, and then Stats takes advantage of that, Stats just wins. Like that is the sort of thing that Protoss just wins the thing. You don't have to watch the rest of the game. But in this situation, where MackWinstone is not Stats, and this is not Rogue, it's not as big of a deal. You know what I mean? So the Adept comes in, scouts, finishes the Shade, which not really ideal, but she might get out of here. I don't know. Lings are smashing her in the back. The Queen can't really keep up. The Shade is available now. You should probably just start shading, honestly. Like, now, though? Maybe? Mac, you have the Shade cooldown is up. If these Lings kill this Adept, I'm going to be really sad. Oh, hold on. Never mind. She's dead. That was discouraging. I do like the safety spores, because, again, you're pretty blind to what's going on right now. You don't know that these are multiple gateways and a robo coming up here from MackWinstone. So CultofIll, just, you know, whatever. We'll get some spores up just in case it's DTs or it's Oracles or it's Phoenix. We'll feel good about it. A few roaches are up here, too, just in case there's a bunch of Adepts coming out. I like that as well, but I was going to say, MackWinstone's way up in economy, but he's not. He hasn't been making probes consistently, and as a result, he's only at 26 workers, and CultofIll is at 34. So the Zerg player, he's recovered nicely from that. Again, it should have been disastrous. In normal StarCraftville, for you to cancel your natural base like that... Man, it should have set him back immensely, but you know what? He's fine, because MackWinstone is not taking advantage on the other side. So that's something you can learn, right? You go back and watch the replay, and you're like, oh, I should have just tossed up the Nexus. I'd be way ahead. Instead, I went for the Forge and the Cannon and didn't need any of that because CultofIll was in no place to pressure me after that happened to him at all. Also, CultofIll can watch this and say, why am I getting multiple spores? Like, I get... Again, it could be just like 5 oracles showing up and trying to kill your stuff, but I guess it makes it hard for this observer. Like, this observer is going to have a really tough life trying to scout because there are 2 spores in each base and queens. But so far, keeping it alive, which I definitely support. Anyway, MackWinstone, what's your plan? That's the thing if you're Protoss. Do you have a plan? On 2 bases, if you're going to go for some Warp Prism shenanigans, you need like 1 million more gateways, which in fairness... You're making another one, but you need, like, it's 4 gates per base. You need 8 gates here, maybe 7 you can get away with. Twilight Council, I'm loving it, but if you're going for some kind of a charge lot attack, you need to get this thing started a while ago. That's the thing. If you're Protoss especially, Zerg is more of a reactive race, although they do have some builds where they can be the active aggressor in matchups. But Protoss especially is the active race here. Go to lotb.spawningtool.com, click on Protoss build orders, and see what you can find. If you have a concept, you're like, I want to do charge lots, or I want to do blink stalkers. Like, find a build, because none of this is really making sense for Mac right now. That said, I mean, he forced a response, but CultofIll's army is massive. It's 50 to 13 army. There's no way MackWinstone is going to win any kind of engagement if CultofIll walks across the map. However, he's keeping the pressure on the Zerg player by doing this stuff. Is he accomplishing a lot? No. No, he's not. He hasn't killed a queen yet. What has he killed? A Zergling has gone down for the Zerg player. Not super good. The resources lost are 100 because he canceled that hatch. The most resources he's lost in this game has been from the canceled natural. This is some pretty good stuff out of the Zerg player, out of the overreaction. MackWinstone's been probing hard since I said he wasn't. So he's oversaturated here, and he really needs a 3rd base. At 7 minutes, you definitely need a 3rd base. Like 100 billion% need a 3rd base. CultofIll could use a 4th. He's at 56 workers on 3 bases. Horribly oversaturated, and both, well, a couple places are minorly oversaturated, but that adds up to an orbally saturated. MackWinstone does take a 3rd. All right, so MackWinstone expanding late, but we'll call it good. Multiple gateways coming in. He recognizes what he's messed up with. He's getting blink. Now, from what I've seen, I'm not convinced that MackWinstone is the kind of player who can use blink super effectively. But if he can, it can be a great equalizer against a Roach Ravager composition, which is what CultofIll is doing. Dude, CultofIll is like... He has this killer army. He's up 64 to 21 army supply. If he just showed up and like Crucibiled right here and just brute forced his way through this, if he just killed this 3rd base, he could do it. But he's playing super defensively. He hasn't wandered. This is the farthest he's wandered from home today with anything other than this Overlord. Way too defensive. Way too defensive. That said, maybe he's heard me, and maybe he's cruising across the map to see what damage he can get done right now. So the Lings go in early to get a quick glimpse of the surroundings and a glance at the surroundings, also known as a glamps. As my brain came up with, this 3rd base is probably in a lot of trouble, to the point that it's probably just dead at this point. I mean, the warping of Zealots is an interesting panic choice, because, like, there's Roaches here and Ravagers, and you know what? Colt's not kiting super well. He was kind of trying to kite for a second there. It didn't really work out for him. Dude, it's 82 to 13 army supply. There is no way MackWinstone should ever win this game. And yet, the Warpins are good. The Stalkers are kind of holding their own against the Ravagers. The Crucibiles are not getting tossed down at all from CultofIll. No. You have... Well, these Overlords aren't army. Well, still, it's 81 to 17 army supply. It's 8 Stalkers versus 17 Roaches and 7 Ravagers. And CultofIll is going home. If CultofIll ever ends up watching this, again, if it's his replay, He's going to be like, yeah, I know. I should have pushed the attack. I could have won this thing at the 10-minute mark. But instead, I was afraid. I was afraid of some Blinkstalkers. But if he watches it, because MackWinstone sent this in, which happens again sometimes. I've gotten people commenting on videos like, I just searched my StarCraft name in YouTube and found this thing you cast back in 2015 of me. And I'm like, whoa. That's insane. It's always fun. So CultofIll's like, you know what? I can't break this 8-stalker defense. I'm going to expand twice and see how that works out for me. Fair enough. There's High Templar now. Like, your window for getting stuff done with Roach Ravager is closing rapidly. Rapido. Mr. CultofIll. Also, I don't know how another Overlord comes in here and dies. I guess maybe it scouted the High Templar, which weren't there before. So that's good. MackWinstone taking a 4th base. Dude, if MackWinstone, again, it's 111. It was 111 to 30 army supply a second ago. Is that another base from CultofIll? Yes, but also no, as it gets canceled because Zealot showed up and murdered it. Good awareness there for MackWinstone. I'm not sure if he knew that was going to happen, but sure, it worked out well. Sometimes that's what StarCraft is. You just show up in a place and you're like, your opponent's trying to expand here at the same time. Weird. Blah. Murder it. Murder it good. CultofIll's getting Hydras. So here's the thing. I've done this before. I've been like maxed out on Roach Ravager Hydra, and then I show up and there's just like 18 storms because there's a bunch of High Templar, and then everything dies. And the worst part of it is, you're like, okay, dodge 1 storm. Great. Dodge another storm. And it's like 6 storms. You dodge 6 storms. They're out of storms now, right? And you go in and you don't dodge, and then another storm comes and finishes you off. And you're like, why is there always one more storm? All right, CultofIll, I need you to win this game. As a Zerg main, I'm commanding you with your massive 2-to-1 army lead. 2-to-1 army lead right now, that you win this game. I know there's a couple Immortals. I know the High Templar are scary. My gosh, there's a lot of High Templar. And they have Storm, and they have a lot of energy for, like, each of them have, this is a lot of Storm. Everyone has 2 Storms available. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah, man. There's... The tables have flipped, my friend. That is so much Storm from MackWinstone. 1 Storm. Okay, good, good. Ready for 2 Storm? I am. 2 Storm. 3 Storm. 4 Storm. 5, 6, 7 Storm. And guess what? They're not done yet. The High Templar still have many storms available, friend. Dude, the Immortals haven't even really engaged here. Another storm goes down. Dude, MackWinstone... Okay, storm his own units a little bit there, which is problematic. Dude, storm, man. If it wasn't for the storm, CultofIll wins that fight. He does. Like, handily, but storm exists, and therefore no. CultofIll doing a decent job remaxing, kind of. He's sitting on 3,000 minerals, 1,000 gas. He has 6 larvae, so he can make more stuff. He has the available supply, too. Dude, this base, cursed. That's twice it's been canceled. But, I mean, the good news is for CultofIll, he's got these bases down the bottom side that they got a little bit harassed earlier, but they're fine now. It's 67 workers, though, for Mac, which, he's oversaturated pretty heavily on all 3 of his bases, which is a problem. Storm, 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 storm. Yeah, we saw that coming. Oh, the High Templar are lagging a bit behind. No, we don't chase. We don't chase Protoss, though. High Templar are slow. We must not take advantage of their disabilities. That would be unfair of us, say the Roaches and Ravagers and Hydras. I think they care about... It's war, man. It's war. They're controlled by the Hive Mind, or Carrion, or Zagara, or maybe they're just rogue feral Zerg. I mean, they're controlled by CultofIll in this case. That is the Hive Mind, but they shouldn't care about taking advantage of disabilities. Dude, MackWinstone's going to win this thing. He was down like 100 army supply to 10 at one point, and he's going to win. Okay, this is a fun engagement. Hang on, and the storms show up, and CultofIll's like, no. Lings coming up. I would love just a mass of like 50 Lings to show up right now against this composition. It'd be so good. It's a 9-kill Immortal, 10-kill Immortal, 11-kill Immortal. The High Templar turn themselves into Archons. Does this feel like a game-ending push to anybody else? I'm looking at it. Trying to figure out if it is. The Immortal in the back is just putting in the work, as they always do. Yeah, 2 bases. Well, do we really count this as a base? I don't know. 2 bases down for CultofIll. He's, again, spending his money fairly well. 15 roaches in production. He's able to get back because his economy is awesome. But the cost efficiency is just not there. CultofIll's lost 20,000 resources. MackWinstone's lost 13,000. It's just not... is not working out for Zerg. Storm is good. Immortals are good. Stalkers are good. Archon's pretty good. I kind of wish he'd kept the High Templar around for extra Storm, though. I think he does better when he's tossing down Storm on the Zerg rather than just this. This not Storm composition, y'all. So it's 4 Zerg bases versus 4 Protoss bases, and as we know, that's never a good thing for Zerg players. CultofIll's got a 5th base coming up with double Rich Vespene Geyser. It's not far from MackWinstone's home, which is why it's like so good. It's a risky base to take, which is the trade-off for the Rich Vespene Geyser. Did I mention there's 2? We warp some more High Templar. Don't have Storm quite yet. They're very close, though. They'll get there. +3 attack is done for MackWinstone. +2 armor. CultofIll sitting on +2 attack for the missile attack. And then 1-1 for the other ground upgrades here. Yeep, yeep. Don't come up the ramp, CultofIll. He knows. He's too smart to go up that ramp. Is he, though? Is he too smart? He's like, well, there haven't been any storms cast yet. Obviously. Oh, whoa, whoa. Bit of a whiff there. Probably the 2 worst storms of MackWinstone today, but that's all right. The other ones have been good. Dude, CultofIll is getting infestors. All right, hold on. Hold your horses about infestors right now. Wow. Wow. The Storm is good against the Roaches and the Ravagers and the Hydras. CultofIll continuing to pump Roaches right now. He's got infestors in the mix. They have no energy for anything because he didn't get pathogen glands. This has been a pro tip for a very long time, but if you're planning on getting infestors, get pathogen glands, and when it's about halfway done, start building your infestors. And when they pop, they'll have the extra energy available to them, and they can fungal right away if you want. Zealots finding CultofIll's 5th base, walking right on past it because, oh, hang on, backtracking, and then murdering it. Very nice. Good map awareness there out of MackWinstone. Map awareness scouting, right? That's the name of the game here. Scouting / going to kill entire bases. Another hatch down, by the way. There's a lot of hatches do not come up the ramp. CultofIll, okay. Every time, he makes me think he's going to do it. Are we just fungling? I guess we're just fungling, which is pretty good if your units are trying to run away. Like, if your enemy is a scaredy cat. I don't know what these Zealots are trying to accomplish. Maybe sniping the infestors, but nope. This is a good match. This is some really good back and forth stuff here, isn't it? I would argue it is. CultofIll retreating to his high ground. CultofIll still has the army supply advantage here, 144 to 87, but again, the presence of the High Templar, the presence of the Immortals, and the Archons are just, they're the tier 3 great equalizers. When it comes to Protoss versus Zerg, it just is what it is. MackWinstone's 5th base is coming up quite nicely. CultofIll hasn't been able to expand really for some time. He still has a decent bank, but he's not going to be able to hold on to it forever. More Storm. Just the storms, though, today. If you're a Protoss player who struggles against Zerg at this level, around this level, like, just get Storm. You'll never regret it, ever once. Oh my gosh, the Storms are blanketing this army. The dodging is not happening anymore, and I was going to say, for the first time today, MackWinstone has more army supply, but he doesn't. CultofIll's making 19 roaches. He's at 71 army supply to 61 for MackWinstone. CultofIll's macro today and consistent production of army when he loses his has been pretty good. That said, he needs another base. Like, really bad. He could transfer some drones down here to the 4th, but I don't know how much attention he's paying to it. No base. Actually, there's a base coming up. All right. So MackWinstone, again, this is where it gets really scary for Zerg, is when there's a Protoss right on their front door. There are 25 drones here. It's 42 workers for CultofIll all of a sudden. The sniping of the economy here is massive. CultofIll's drone count just went absolutely to pot. There are no immortals here, but I'm not sure how much it actually matters, as the Archons are just standing in, doing terrible damage. 12 kills on that Archon. And suddenly CultofIll has 50 minerals in his bank. He had thousands a minute ago. MackWinstone has won this game. All of a sudden, CultofIll's down to 25 workers and 44 army supply. MackWinstone has 67 workers and 61 army supply. For the first time today, he's consistently having a bigger army than the Zerg player, and it's by killing the economy. This is brilliant. Dude, MackWinstone with the comeback of the year. CultofIll, again, going to watch this game and be like, there was a window. There was a window. There were 2 windows where it could have attacked the natural base before the 3rd existed and won. And when I could have attacked the 3rd base and not been chased home by 8 Blinkstalkers. Those were the windows. That was it. I love this. Zealots coming into the 4th base while the rest of the armies takes out the 5th base. CultofIll is trying... Desperation Lings, man. Desperation Lings going against these cannons with a shield battery. Oh, and then the huge warping of 12 Zealots to handle it. Shield battery present, but I don't think it has much energy left. But yeah, man. I mean, it's 12 drones remaining. That's a GG. Infestors wandering up this way, just getting hacked to pieces by them Zealots. Army recalls home. MackWinstone making use of that ability. GG from CultofIll. And MackWinstone is your winner in 22 minutes and 39 seconds for Game 1 of our Patreon 2 for today. What a match. That was, I mean, shoot, that was fun. Again, CultofIll's going to look back at this and be like, I had it. There were a couple times, man. Couple times he had it. But MackWinstone got those High Templar out, researched Storm, and suddenly the tides turned. Just like that. Snap of the fingers, done. It's the great equalizer. I've said it a billion times. It is. I mean, look at this. 39,000 resources lost for the Zerg player. 30,000 for MackWinstone. 11 High Templar died, but 212 roaches got killed. That's so many roaches. That is so many roaches. 6 hatcheries got sniped. No Nexuses died. That's a huge, big deal for MackWinstone. Only 1 probe died, and 57 drones went down. I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the metrics are here. This was a massive win for MackWinstone and something he should be proud of. Good. All right. Well, let's move on into game number 2 here. Between, I don't even know. We'll get there. I think it's a team game, though, so we'll look forward to that. But we'll be back in just a second. Game 2 of our Patreon 2 for today is going to be between Andrew, Orange Doge, and Super Hobo, and Ponester. Oh, on Efflorescence? Efflorescence. Okay. I've said that name before, but had trouble with it this time. All right, so we have Team North here. The red Protoss player, Super Hobo. Which, sure. And at the top-ish, we have the blue Zerg player, his teammate, Ponester. Bottom side, it is a purple Protoss player, Orange Doge. And then we have Andrew Kuzkuz. I'm going to call him Andrew. Oh, he's got the Carbot little skin here. Not a skin, like a spray. With the infested marine eating a donut? Is that what that is? Or just regular marine eating a donut? It kind of looks infested. I don't know, man. Oh, there's a bigger version down here. Okay, regular Marine eating a donut. Infested Marine eating a donut would be cool. It would. Do we red versus blue this? No. Let's go Team Captain America. All right, red and blue. Cha-ching. Again, that's my Amerocentric statement about how I think red and blue only exist on the American flag instead of 18,000 other flags worldwide. They're very popular colors, it turns out, for many good reasons. France comes to mind as a country with red and blue. And you know who else? England. Great Britain. Australia. Yeah, a lot of English-speaking countries. I am so American. Okay, so what's going to happen here? What do we got? Terran Protoss versus Protoss Zerg. Very fun. All three races represented. That's my favorite kind of team game, is where all three races are represented. That said, Snipermonkey did send me a really cool TT versus TT 2v2 that I think I still need to cast. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, hey, look. It's a cannon rush from Orange Doge. And it's a cannon rush from Super Hobo. So being cannon rushed while cannon rushing. Always very fun. High ground here belongs. Hang on. Super Hobo. Got the high ground. The bunker's in trouble. Andrew. Ooh, he sniped down the probe. The high ground no longer exists. It no longer belongs to Super Hobo, and all of his cannons are in massive amounts of jeopardy. On the other side, he did handle the cannons that were coming up in his base with probes. And he's still got 14 of them, so it could be worse, I guess. Excellent. Do we have... There's interesting Carbot things happening in this game, and it's not Carbot. Anyway, hey, if you like the Carbot skin, and, like, you wish you could see me cast stuff in the Carbot skin, they made a whole one for StarCraft Brood War. It's called StarCraft Cartoons, but it's only for StarCraft Brood War. So, like, every month or so, I'll post one in the Carbot skin. It's tons of fun, and I really love it. So if you just want to see the Carbot skin in StarCraft, just search Carbot on my channel. You'll find some cool stuff. Lings jumping in. They're like, hey, you were cannon rushing. You probably don't have a lot. Rah! I'm going to kill all your probes. Just kidding. There's only 2 of us. And the probes are going to piss against the wall and kill us anyway. 1 probe died. I mean, that's a better situation than I would expect for 2 Lings run into an entire mineral line of probes. Like, the default response there is all of the Lings die, and the probes are totally fine. More Lings showing up. They still don't have speed. Oh, another probe sniped, and this cannon's in a lot of trouble. Kind of like it. And the Zealot's like, get out of my house, you kids. With your running and your jumping and your clawing stuff, I hate it. Very fair, old man. Old man Orange Doge. You can't be old if you've got Doge in your name, can you? It's actually a question for the scientists. I don't know. I don't believe it is. Ponester, like, really doesn't have much going on. I mean, 25 workers isn't bad. Nobody's really killing it economically right now. 3rd base on the way from Ponester at 4.5 minutes. Again, expansion timings are weird in team games. As a Zerg player, you don't take a 3rd when you normally would in a 1v1 just because, well, rush distances are short. 2 armies can show up instead of 1. It's really hard to hold that off, and it's just safer that way. That's all it is. I see you. Wrong button. I've been casting Brood War. Hydralisk Den from Honestar. Would lurkers be good? Let's see. Lurkers are really good against Protoss unless they have a ton of immortals. And pretty good against Terran. I mean, we've seen Raynor make it work. He loves lurkers versus Terran. But I do wonder if it takes, like, Raynor's abilities to pull it off. I've just never seen lurkers really attempted at this level against Terran and succeed in any way. Finally, this cannon contain gets wiped out by a single siege tank. Man, I didn't realize how this spray is on everything. It's on the top of the bunkers. It's 4 times on the siege tanks. It's on every supply depot. Is that the same for every, like, little tag you choose? Maybe it's just super visible because it's orange, and other times it's just not as visible because, like, it's blue or something. I suppose that could be the case. Hey, Dark Shrine out of Orange Doge and Charge. Dark Templar and Charge Lot seems like a pretty good combination if you ask me. Glial Reconstitution coming in from the third player. That's really something you can't skip if you're making roaches at all. On the other side, Super Hobo is, I don't know what he's doing exactly. He's also going for charge, which is fine. It's going to be Charge Lot versus Charge Lot, which is kind of hilarious. Andrew taking a third base. Loving that out of Andrew. Like, even before his natural base is done. I guess his third base was done first. That's weird. I guess maybe you're hoping it doesn't get scouted. It's like a ninja that's still close to home and pretty easy to defend. I think I'm down with that. Very cool, Andrew. Armory on the way from Andrew. Maybe just for further upgrades for his Marines. Maybe to upgrade his tanks. Maybe he wants to go into Hellbats or something. He has the options. He has the power. So Roach Hydra here from Ponester. I mean, just generally, if you're going to make an army Zerg players, don't leave the whole thing in your main base. There you go. Like, be up, defend your third. That's what's going to get attacked first. Maybe, like, set up here so you're covering this and this at the same time. Spine Crawlers coming up from Ponester. Everybody's being generally left alone at this stage, considering how much aggression there was in the early stages of this map. Orange Doge getting a third base. Warping that in quite nicely. And Super Hobo's kind of falling behind. Super Hobo needs a third. Everybody else has one. And honestly, Ponester could afford a fourth base. And I like to take this one on this map in 2v2s as a Zerg, based on the spawn location. Again, what else are your options here? I mean, I guess you could kind of sneak one further away, but that's a high risk reward. You know what I mean? It's further away, it's harder to spot, but also responding to it getting murdered takes a while. Creep spread is kind of abysmal from Ponester. He's got a couple tumors. Like, he's got the general concept here, but he's not moving them down and around and connecting them to his third base at all. Hey, third base from Super Hobo. Okay, so he's catching up, but he's down is the problem. I don't like this map as Zerg because there aren't many high points to put overlords. You would think this is maybe high ground, or this one? No, that's not high ground. How about this? Nope, not high ground. Ground units that can shoot up will murder you just as easily as if you're out in the open. So I hate it for that very purpose, but I don't know. Ponster's not worrying about scouting anyway. So yeah, I'd say this is probably a lower level game than the last one. And again, it's a Patreon game. It doesn't matter what level it is. We're just here to cast it and have a good time and see what these players are up to anyway. Medevacs coming in from Andrew. Just really typical Tyranny stuff right now. Going for a bunch of Marines, tanks, Medevacs. All the ingredients are there to be a pretty darn potent Terran army. On the other side, Ponester is at 63 workers on 3 bases. Really needs a fourth. Like, super bad. More than anything in the world needs a fourth. Also, spreading creep would be so good, but he's not doing it. And I don't think we're ever going to get there. There is a lurker den, though. All right, so Ponester is feeling lurkery today. And the tank count is 4. It's not incredible. Is there any detection is the bigger question. I mean, there are orbitals here, but the mule dropping's been pretty good for Andrew. He doesn't have a lot of energy for scans. Maybe he's got 1 here at his natural base. But of course, you still have to make lurkers. So the lurker den is done. He's got enough hydras to make a bunch. Go lurkers! Yeah, here we go. Wait, no, those are ravagers. Your lurker den finished and your instinct was to make a bunch of ravagers? He has a ton of money to make a bunch of lurkers too if he wants, though. Lurkers would be so cool. Lurkers might actually be better at the lower levels. Anything that's cloaked and can attack is better at the lower levels. Does he not know that creep tumors can spread? Like, he's popped down fresh tumors in a couple spots, but they don't have any second generations. Oh, hang on, a second generation. Oh! Poncer's like, shut up, Falcon. I absolutely know how to do second generation creep tumors. I've known for my whole life. Why are you questioning me, you meanie? Fair point, Ponester. I'm sorry. My bad. Look, Orange Doge has a 4th base. You need a 4th base, Ponester. I need to leave Ponester alone. It's cool. Super Hobo set up a home away from home with cannons and shield batteries to harass the base that is just now coming up from Andrew, I guess. That's some nice foresight there, Super Hobo. This is the most passive 2v2 I may have ever seen. I know there was double cannon rush at the start, but man, after that was cleaned up, these guys are hanging out doing nothing. There's a drop here from Andrew, but Ow. Don't lose the medevacs, though. Ooh, 2 of them get away. That's massive. Drop here from Orange Doge is like, why does the Zerg player have a 4th base? What is wrong? It's a fair question, Orange Doge. I was asking that just a couple minutes ago myself. Colossus in production from Super Hobo. Ponester decides, hey, you tried to drop my teammate. It's time to murder you with my giant Zerg army of doom. Hey, look, he's got some lurkers. Hold up, buddy. All right. Ow. I don't know about... All right, no scans coming in. Sweet. So Andrew's base is in a lot of trouble all of a sudden. Super Hobo does not have much. But he's pushing over on Orange Doge's 3rd base to get some stuff done. A big warping of Orange Doge over here at Ponester's 3rd base at the same time. So base down for Andrew, but Ponester might lose a base in exchange, which is never good. Orange Doge warps in DTs to defend his homeland. And by golly, is that effective as all get out. Hold on, hold on. It's defensive Zealots versus Zealots here. It's hard to tell who's going to win, Zealot versus Zealot. Orange Doge might end up... Wait, are your lurkers all dead? Did you leave them behind? Nope, there's one here. And, yeah, man, takes down the 3rd base of Orange Doge, too. Ponester getting some work done. That said, he has DTs in his main base, causing minor difficulties, bruising some of his buildings, not killing any of them. Look at the DTs, though. Orange Doge is like, DTs for life, man. No one makes detection at this level of StarCraft. Just kidding, Ponester totally does. Like, all right, hang out here. When the DTs arrive, we shall massacre them. Although the never mind, there's just too many. Even being able to see them, it's not working out. No, Ponester, why? Zealot's trying to take down Andrew's 4th base as he rebuilds his 3rd, but a planetary should be enough to hold them for now. Dude, Ponester's on 2 bases. Ponester's a dead man. Ponester, I like what he's doing, but he never took a 4th. He wasn't able to defend his 3rd at all. And in fairness, some of that really wasn't his fault. Like, it was on the other side of the map, and a ton of Zealots and DTs warped in at his 3rd. Oh, ay caramba. The comeback mechanic of the century are these DTs, man. One behind Dark Shrine. I mean, he made that Dark Shrine before he was behind. No, just don't worry about what's trying to stop you. Take the Hive, and the Hive goes down. DT DPS is nuts. Absolutely bonkers. Oh, and they have Shadow Stride, so the queens couldn't run away. That's so sick. Dang. Orange Doge snipes the Lurker Den. Super Hobo leaves the game. Orange Doge GG's out, and bam, Andrew and Orange Doge are your winners in 13 minutes and 54 seconds. What a counter. That was really nice stuff. I mean, end of the day, Andrew did lose his 3rd base. Orange Doge lost his 3rd base. But they both got 4th bases up and running. They both tried a bit of a counterattack here, and the counterattack of Orange Doge was insanely good with the DTs. Did Super Hobo really just have nothing? Super Hobo is like, I have a Colossus and 3 Stalkers. I can't compete with this. Yeah. All right. So again, the Ponester just needed a 4th base. He needed some kind of defense back home on some level. And then, I don't know, Banelings maybe? Roaches are really good against DTs. Hydras really aren't the answer is the problem. The Hydras are not going to deal well with the charge lots and the DTs. It was kind of like the most possible worst choice. Other than maybe Zerglings, I guess. But Andrew's pushing up to contribute with a couple Thor and a couple Marines, trying to see what he can accomplish on his 4 bases. He is out of the game. I actually want to know what Andrew's bank was real quick. Yeah, about 5,000 minerals and 1,700 gas. So, yeah, I would recommend Andrew just make more stuff. Make more production facilities. See how your guy over here has a ton of warp gates? And more warp gates? Yeah, and you, on the other hand, have, official tally, 1 factory, a starport, and 2 barracks. It's not enough for 4 bases. Goodness, no. You're going to want 7 to 8 barracks. Or if you're growing mech heavy, maybe 7 to 8 factories. But you just don't have enough production to keep up with how much income you're getting off of these 53 workers in these 4 bases. Orange Doge had a good game. Really not many complaints about him. The Genius move into DTs was great. And then Super Hobo, his just macro was not great in this game. It wasn't. Same thing, sitting at about 2,000 minerals and 1,500 gas. He's got bigger number of warp gates, 3 robos, with which today he made a Colossus and an Observer. So he had a robotics facility built that didn't do anything today, which is a problem. But yeah, just additional warp gates, man. Spend your money. Bigger army. Stuff. At this level, it's really just about stuff more than anything else. If you have stuff, you're going to have a better time. All right, good. Well, you know what? That's going to be it for me today for my Patreon twofer for the month of July 2020. Hope y'all are staying safe and staying healthy wherever you happen to be. I'm doing well, in case you're wondering. Everyone's fine here. We're healthy. We're safe. We're staying indoors. We're not going anywhere, which, I don't know. I'm kind of an introvert anyway, so, like, going out is not my thing, so I'm cool. But all you extroverts, I empathize with you guys. I hope this thing clears up soon. Anywho, yeah, it's going to be it. So thanks for watching. This has been Falcon Paladin with yet another edition of StarCraft 2, a bonus one for you today. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe. If you like what you saw and what you heard today, you can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.